Welcome back to the 888 MF YouTube channel. Today we're in my McLaren 12C. So why did I buy the McLaren? I actually own a few other cars. I've got two 4 litres. I've got the Ferrari 360 Challenge Stradale, which Mr. See-Through Gas loves so much, and I've got the Porsche 964 Turbo 3.6. So I had these 4 gorgeous cars in my collection, but none of them were really suitable to drive every day, especially not in central London where I live. So I needed something I could drive every day, and I went off in my search. I started off at Porsche in Leicester and I test drove the Cayman GTS. Loved the car, but I got out and looked at it and just thought, that's not a supercar. And I didn't want to have my everyday car that was going to be something I was going to be bored of driving, or I would miss the other gorgeous cars in my collection. So it was a pretty tough ask to find something that I would enjoy driving every day that would still look like a supercar and that was easy to drive. So the next car on the list was the 458 Italia, but at the time that was roughly £150,000, a little bit beyond what I wanted to spend for an everyday supercar. And the 458 isn't really great at high mileage. Most of them depreciate quite quickly when you do high miles. So I went and test drove the McLaren. I went to McLaren Knightsbridge and I said to the salesman, I wanted to do a proper test drive. I want to go around central London knowing what it's like to drive in traffic every day, round speed humps and width restrictions. So I took it out for a good hour and a half drive and I loved it. The turbo allows you to actually accelerate in very short spaces. So when you want to get in and out of traffic in London, it's absolutely amazing. You put your foot down like there, you have instant power. 616 brake horsepower to be precise, and it's instantaneous. No turbo jet lag like on turbo lag, not jet lag. No turbo lag like on the 964 Turbo. This is instantaneous. The car I'm driving now, pretty good spec. It's got the sports exhaust, which makes a big difference to the noise. Parking sensors, which you need around London, and it's got the actual Le Mans interior with the orange inserts down the center, which makes it pretty special. Carbon fiber interior, carbon fiber rear diffuser, carbon fiber engine covers. So the total cost of this was around £210,000 new. I managed to pick it up for £131,000, which I think's pretty good for a car that comes up against any supercar in London. The technology on the McLaren is way ahead of most of its rivals. It's got the carbon fiber tub, which allows the car to be really rigid, super light and super strong. God forbid you're in an accident, this is a pretty good place to be, as you can see with most of the Formula 1 drivers in their carbon tubs. The sports exhaust makes a big difference. I actually had a white McLaren 12C to start, and without this sports exhaust it doesn't sound great. It needs a sports exhaust, plus it needs the carbon fiber interior to really jazz up the interior. What else do I love about it? It's quite small, the McLaren, even though it's a supercar. It's quite small in terms of its length and width, which means you can drive it around London and not have to worry about width restrictions or getting out in and out of tight spots. what's really nice is that you can actually do long journeys and never get tired also. I took the car to the Nürburgring last year and I drove all the way there without getting tired, and I actually reached on the German Autobahn 195 on the way there. How many cars can you get in, drive across a continent, not be tired, do 195 and then take to a racetrack? So this is my second McLaren and I absolutely love it. I've thought about changing it for a 650S, but I'm still not sure. I like the front of the 650S more than the 12C. I took a 650S out for a test drive. The interior is exactly the same. The rear is pretty much the same. It's just the front lights that are different. And also, obviously, it's got more power. Is it massively different from the 12C? It didn't feel it to me. I know people that actually have fallen in love with the 12C and think it's a classic. I'm kind of with them on that. I think the front of this car really looks sharp and clean and timeless. In my opinion, there's not many supercars that look better than a McLaren. Oh. Nice car. Let's go for a drive. If you haven't driven a McLaren yet, I suggest you go to a dealership and test drive a 12C, because I think you'll be really surprised at how good it is, and make sure you take it out for a long test drive like I did. If you're not old enough to drive yet, start saving, because I think this is going to be a future classic. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Please subscribe, as we'll have many more videos coming soon.